Guys, I need to start with this shocking murder that took place 2 days ago at 7 o'clock in the morning, right? 2 blocks from Radio City Music Hall, 3 weeks before Christmas. CEO of United Healthcare is gunned down in broad daylight. The police are still investigating it. The gunman is on the run. But I want to talk about the reaction that we're seeing online and the support for this shooter. What is your take?
I want to, at the outset, say that I'm against murder. Old-fashioned maybe in that way, but I think that, it's not a good thing. But in the reaction, well, I don't like the likes and the laughs and all that.
And we should say they come from people's rage against the health insurance.
I hear the signal that's in that there is a huge amount of just rage and anger with the health insurance industry in this country. And the fact that this is now acceptable, more or less, apparently to so many people is...
What's acceptable?
To make jokes at the expense of the CEO who just got murdered. That's like those things. I opened my TikTok yesterday and it was all over the place. And you know how that algorithm works. It's like it's all over the place because it's not just me. It's a lot of people are watching that stuff and liking it and passing it on. That's the culture talking, and the culture is saying we are really unhappy with how insurance in this country is working.
I think some of the jokes were jokes. There were some that were absolute jokes, like, oh, that was a pre-existing condition and stuff like that, which jokes. I sort of chuckled jokes. At, But there was vitriol. There was, I would separate the jokes part of it with the vitriol and the acceptance of murder of a human being. He's a guy.
Yeah, as a human being. Have you ever covered anything like this?
No, and I guess I want to say part of it is that it's online. People act in different ways, not me, but I'm saying...
No, this is really important. This is really important.
It's very different to post something about you and then look you in the eye right now and say it to your face. And it's grown, as the internet grown. The internet is an amazing, wonderful thing in many ways. But this is one side effect where it's sort of performative and funny, and it seems to not really have consequences.
It's surprising to me that when it's one thing to like something and that's kind of anonymous. It's another to put yourself and your face and your public being out there and say this stuff and get a lot of approval for it.
Max, how much are these platforms responsible for amplifying, celebrating, sort of these, I don't even want to say polarizing opinions, but rewarding outrage over someone being murdered?
So they're not responsible for the content, but they are, of course, responsible for the amplification, right? This does not happen by accident. These are all based around algorithms that they have abject control of. I totally understand when there's some random neo-Nazi tweet in the corner of some social media atmosphere that they miss and they should have caught. I kind of get that, right? Nobody is missing this story. And the fact that the social media industry writ large is not doing anything to stem the tide of what is, for all intents and purposes, the celebration of murder is a problem. And it's yet another indictment of that entire industry.
How do we pull back from this then? How do we pull back from this radicalization of, yes, we are furious with an industry like the healthcare industry. People are sick and fed up, but at the same time, normalizing the murder of someone. How do we recover from this? I'm
going to nerd out here, and the former congressman might correct me. Revoke Section 230. That is the law that makes no social media platform responsible. You can't sue them for any of the content that appears on them. When I publish a story on NBCnews.com, lawyers read it. I can be sued for slandering someone or defaming someone or libeling someone. It was an early thing. The Clinton administration, I think, allowed Section 230 when it was a growing industry. It's just gotten out of control now. And I think there should be pressure on these platforms to moderate this content better. And I don't want a government committee deciding what's true or not, but you can be sued.
Yeah, there's nothing libelous in these jokes. I don't think that's really going to come at issue. Yeah. It's a question of judgment, but it's not.
But don't you think this is a systemic problem that's coming from the top? Look what Trump tweets or whatever whatever it's called, false social.
Called truth.
Yeah.
Called
truth. Yes.
But there's the stuff that comes out of his mouth is exactly this kind of stuff, and he allows it. And people, I noticed in 2016, wow, people are behaving differently.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think they feel even more empowered now that he's back.
No, it does feel like at times we are just one small step away from being what Gotham City is like in the latest Batman movie, right? Celebrating murder and using that point as an indictment of power inequities. Of course, we should take a step back and acknowledge the health insurance industry is a problem, right?
A huge problem.
And there's perverse incentives riddled with it. Of course, many insurance companies abroad are nonprofit. We could have a conversation about that. Murder should not be the catalyst for that conversation. But let's also note that there have been shootings in New York City since this shooting in Midtown, murders throughout the year. And we still live in a society where when certain people of a certain net worth are killed, it is news for days on end. And when other people are killed with legal or illegal guns, it is barely mentioned in the news.
This is a great point. But you know what's interesting to me? The one thing social media does do, you see internet sleuths figure things out within seconds, right? A Karen yells at somebody in an airport, they pop her face on Instagram, and we know within minutes she's insurance salesperson. She lives in Encino, California. We know she has 4 cats. Isn't it amazing that we're 2 days out and we've seen this young man's face and nobody seems to know who he is yet?
And they might have DA or they have a fingerprint or whatever. This is from Tom Winter, who's our law enforcement reporter here. He is saying the government, the law enforcement agencies, don't have most Americans' DNA or their fingerprints because they haven't interacted with. That it's not as it appears sort of on TV shows. Maybe.
But now that the internet has all seen this guy's face, right? He doesn't look older than 25, so he was in high school in the last 10 years. No one of the millions of Americans who have now seen him has said, yep, that's John Smith. I played high school hockey with him.
Yes, that is surprising. I agree. But the idea that there's a simple algorithm that can find every, one person of 360 million Americans based on a blurry photo, and maybe it's good. That technology doesn't appear to exist. But why hasn't someone come forward?
It's also, I found fascinating from the story, is that we're on camera 100 to 200 times a day walking down the streets of New York City. It's incredible. That was shocking to me.
I have got to dress better.
I was going to say that.
That's a lot.
I do want to ask about this, though. At the same time, Elon Musk and his buddies, they are talking about cutting government spending, making everything more efficient. And the answer is often privatize, privatize, privatize. Well, that's what we have in our insurance industry here. And when you have that, they can jack up rates, they can deny you, they can leave you out in the cold, and there's no one to call. There's no help. So this fury that the American people are feeling, isn't that going to worsen with the direction that we're headed in?
Well, this whole conversation about efficiency and government spending is going to dominate our politics for the coming years. And I actually think that's a good thing because it is extraordinarily dangerous to make government hyper efficient. Thank God government wasn't hyper efficient during the COVID pandemic when we had excess resources to so quickly respond to the crisis at hand, to deploy 10,000 service members throughout the country to support our hospitals, to have money for Operation Warp Speed and all the rest. Government is meant to be there in unforeseen circumstances, and they're treating it like the latest Twitter acquisition, and it is going to be a gigantic political
Project 2025 wants to privatize Medicare. So think about this rage when that happens.
Yeah.
If that were to happen.
No, let's remember, this is what the concepts of a plan were about.